as he spread out on the wall. He said, this is it, this is it, this is it, I've been hit. No time to give up, brother, no time to quit. The chant of a madman in the still from a strange land. The chant of the madman is the only salvation. I said the chant of a madman in the still from a strange land.
Good in your line now, boy.
Chant of the madman.
Good in your line.
Anyway, you turn somebody chanting to we. What do we and we go set you free? Somebody promising natural law. Fly like a yogi, end all the war. Seek inner peace, end all the pain. The same woman promising to put on again. Somebody promising to run all the bread. Somebody pushing a world-class pen. Somebody clean out the weed well fast. But somebody letting the cocaine pass. Somebody promised to abolish the tax. Somebody promised to kill with the tax. Somebody promised to clean up the land. But in this clean land, rats still killing man. We bright little youths going to waste. Somebody binge the smile on their face. Somebody take one love off the shelf. Get the one of boys that will sell out themselves. Somebody going to end all this talk about race, but they can't tell me that with a straight face. Big men dying, the crime can't solve. A madman rant is made only resolve. I hear the madman fall as he lie on a wall. He said, this is it, this is it, this is it, I've been hit. But no time to give up, brother, no time to quit. A chant of a madman in the still from a strange land. It was a chant of a madman in the still from a strange land. Only the chant of the madman is the only salvation. Oh, 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 oh,
What was that? In every pack of cards, they have two of these. The Joker. And when you get a pack of cards, first thing is do, find the Joker. Throw it away. Unless you're playing a game where you need jokers. And if you need jokers, you don't throw away the jokers. But generally, you get a pack of cards. Brandon tell me 3 jokers. That is a man that plays plenty cards. 3 jokers in the pack. This video is me making Sean Sunarine win whoever bet he bet tonight or this week, that I could never make it till after Christmas and not do a live video. But that's not the purpose of the video. But Sean went and laughed because Sean betting people that I can't make it till after Christmas because I say it's time to stick a pin. And the only reason it's time to stick a pin, tonight I'm in the gym and I'm training, and again it's 7 o'clock reach, and then 7:15 reach, and 7:30. And people in the gym start to say, hey, you're watching the time, you see the time, you head home, you gotta go live. I say, no, I'm taking a break. I leave the gym and I go by my parents to eat dinner, lying with them. And they're in shock. Because they've not seen me at this time for over a year. My family. My parents, my father, my mother, sister. They don't see me because I do this every night. So I go there and I start eating dinner, and everybody just a little skittish because they're accustomed to me being in a hurry to have to go and go live and do the show. And so I said I really taking a break. And I personally needed it, and I sure you all need it too, because, I mean, other people do live videos, and I see those live videos. I mean, they do short videos, and I see a man do a video where he cut up a balize, 1 minute long, he got 100,000 views. But I think he made his point. But the politics of Trinidad and Tobago is not maturing. And I have a lot of things to say in this video. But the politics is not maturing because we are not maturing. We the people, the voters who have the vote, we are not maturing past Bacchanal. Bacchanal. And that's why I played that song by David Rudder, because that's what works with us. What works with us is this is what works with us. We're not maturing past this. Let us sing this 20 years ago. We're not getting past this. Some promising jobs for all. The PNM just told the nation that everybody employed. But everywhere you go, you see unemployed people hustling, begging, or putting down robberies. Because the people are putting down the robberies, and it reach all up inside Diego Martin. And the people at Diego Martin panicking. Because everything in Diego Martin getting robbed now, and people panicking. When they robbed the Four Roads gas station, I almost did a live video from across the road from the Four Roads gas station. And I would have panned the camera, and I'd have said, that's Four Roads police station, this Four Roads gas station. That's Four Roads police station, this is Four Roads gas station. That's Four Roads police station, this is Four Roads gas station. The reason I was going to do that is to get the police to explain how you could control Diego Martin, where they only have two ways into Diego Martin, over Mount Coco and up Diego Martin Main Road. Crystal Stream Highway, Diego Martin Main Road, you're cutting that off at Four Roads. So if a robbery take place in Diego Martin and you're serious, because if you look at the rest of the world when things happen, and the police in Trinidad and Tobago, when they shoot Babwa, the officer, when they kill him, within hours they had those people in custody. So every now and then, when they stole the ex-minister of National Security gold bracelet worth $10,000, 15 minutes later they went inside the plannings and find the man and take the gold bracelet back. So the police keep showing you that if they want to walk, they can walk, and that they know who the bandits are. And 10 to 1, I think they go and say, hey, the thief of Minister of National Security bracelet there, jackass, give me back. Because they know them. That's a whole other conversation. Last night, somebody called me in a panic. He going to try and rescue a woman who was brought to Trinidad to be human trafficked. If I get sidetracked and if I'm talking in all over the place, it's because I have a lot of things I want to just get off my chest. And he called me because he's going to rescue this woman that was brought here. She was human trafficked from Venezuela. And she in a house in somewhere in Central. And I asking him to give me the name of the guest house and give me the address. I said, I will put it on blast. You don't worry. He said, Philip, if I let go this information, they will kill me. I said, okay, give me. They wouldn't know it's you I get it from. Because last night, Southern Division Police apparently was supposed to go and raid this guest house on this information until they found out that it was a senior law enforcement officer that have something to do with somebody in that guest house. So nobody ain't go and raid anybody yet. And if that is true, that is an indictment again on the failure of this country. And all the talk that we could talk and all the mark that we could bust. Listen, Ocean Flower getting the contract. Ocean Flower getting the contract. You will be riding to Tobago on the Ocean Flower next week. Ocean Flower getting the contract. All the mark we want to bust. All of it. All of it. For what? What does it do? I watch a picture of Christian Mute hugging up Gregory Farrar drunk in a party. These people just laugh at us. Laugh. Christian Mute from Vemco, from KFC, from Prestige Holdings. He get the job to investigate the corruption on the port. Where that report? Forget that. Rohan Sidanan still have a job. He is responsible for everything that went on there. Forget that. It is April this year that Phillip Alexander bust the mark and tell Trinidad and Tobago, see this thing in Superfast Galatia? This is going on blow up now. And I'll tell you about that because that led to somebody joining the party, but that's something else, right? So I said, this is going to blow up now. And it blew up, and it got big, and it got stink, and everything else that happened since. And TV6 sent Mark Basant looking for Bridgemans all over the world, and all this bullshit that went on. But all those Mark, Boss, and the Cabo Star is here, and the Ocean Flower is here, and Bridgemans have the contract, and Trinidad and Tobago money being spent to people who we do not know. And all that bacchanal aside, all of that aside, it's still happening. This is like, I had to ask somebody today, a little girl living in Laventille, for whatever reason, run away from home. Now this could be a little girl from Goodwood Park. This could be a little girl from Valsane. This could be a little girl from Woodbrook. This could be a little girl from Bel Air. This could be a little girl from Chaguanas. A little girl from Laventille. Run away from home. 2 men hold her, take her in an abandoned house, and rape her repeatedly. 3 men heard that there was this girl available for raping, and they came with guns and stole her and continued to rape her. Now she got a little story about this big in the papers, and I'm thinking, this is a Laventille teen that has been kept for days and raped repeatedly at gunpoint. And the way the story was written, gunmen came and took over, and the way the story was written, and I'm thinking, if that headline was Westmoreland's teen kidnapped and raped for days, Trinidad would have locked right down. Goodwood Park teen, Trinidad would have locked right down. And I'm trying to understand why a teen from Laventille's life is worth less than a teen from anywhere else. And why this little girl hasn't had the same justice that the ex-Minister of National Security in his gold band get. Why those 5 people still running around? But stick a pin there. There is a group of people, real PNM sycophants, and I know that the political organization of which I am affiliated, the Progressive Empowerment Party, I am the founder, I am the namer, I am the colorer, I am the designer, I am the founder. I was writing a book called Reboot the Republic. And all of the policies that you see as the Progressive Empowerment Party, that's 10 years of writing that book, compiling information, critically analyzing situations, problem solving. And my plan never was to get into politics. I ran for elections in 2015 as an independent because it was on my bucket list. I have Sing a Calypso to do, and I think I might be doing it next year with Kurt Allen, if God spare life and if it is possible. Run for elections, sing a Calypso in the big yard in Skinner Park. Or you must have a bucket list, things that you want to do before you die. I want to go to the Barcelona Farmers Market. They have a list of things I want to do. I want to go and see ancient alien sites because I want to go and touch them. All of that, that's my bucket list. And one of my bucket list items was to run for elections, and I did. And I didn't run for elections under any of the political parties. I ran as an independent, and I did it. So I was done. I never thought I'd get into politics at the level I got into here. Progressive Empowerment Party came out of Ian Griffith and Harry Hunt, 2 guys that used to talk to me on Facebook. I know them from Facebook, both of them. I know them from Facebook, and we used to talk about issues, and we decided, let's meet. And we met in Westmore, had a cup of coffee, discuss issues, because I'd meet anybody and talk with anybody about any way to fix the country. My plan was to get a sponsor. The first person I'd asked about was a woman called Pamela Lee Pasade in oil and all kind of bacchanal down in South. And I think Manning was in power when I was writing Reboot the Republic. And my plan was to get a sponsor or sponsors to help pay to print the book so I could give it away. I didn't even want to make money. Because when you hear the policies that are advocated by the Progressive Empowerment Party, those are chapter and verse from Reboot the Republic. In fact, the manifesto of the PEP is called Reboot the Republic. That was the name of the book. And all of those policies is from years of, and I wanted to just give it away because my concept then, as it is now, is that if we inform and educate the people, we might empower them. And an empowered people, Lise Blur asked me, what's my sobriquet going to be? It is, and I'm not joking, it is one of two things. It's either going to be Lord have mercy or Snagglepuss. And we're working on deciding which one it's going to be. But coming back to this, I never thought that I was going to get into politics at this level. And Harry and Ian and I would meet once a week. Ian was involved in, and I met Ian in real life. Ian was one of the men who was leading the charge against when the PNM and the UNC, through Jerry Hadid and Coleman Bird, jammed a school in Maraval that they wasn't giving it permission. Joe Paris was selling alcohol and sushi in the building and had a liquor license. So it was business, it was licensed for business then, but it wasn't licensed for business when they wanted to open Arbor School. And I met him there, and I went and I protested with them, because I protested with everybody. I protested with Lincoln Myers, I protest with Wayne Kublal Singh. Once you're standing up against something in Trinidad, I deal with you. Anyway, I don't want to get tired too much. Harry came to me because somebody dared to Harry. And he's not told his story yet. And I'm going to tell his whole story. But somebody dared to Harry was treated so badly in the hospital that she died. She died. And she lost her life. And Harry found that he wanted to try and get me to do something about that. And so he and I and Ian would meet, and we would talk, and we would discuss, and we would argue, and we would fight, and we would disagree, and we would agree about all of the things that plague Trinidad and Tobago and possible solutions. And then we decided, you know what? Let's put our money where our mouth is. And we made a list of issues. And we said, we are going to be activists that affect Trinidad through the courts. And we're going to use the courts. We were going to sue the Ministry of Health, Prime Minister, and Global Medical Response Trinidad and Tobago in a class action lawsuit on behalf of all of the people whose loved ones died waiting on an ambulance. That was the first thing we were going to take on. We were going to take on that matter in the court, class action lawsuit. Ironically, Global Medical Response is now suing me, and I'm in the court with them because they have a thing now, defamation lawsuits, where they serve you with a defamation lawsuit. Like they serve Kirkwaite from Angostura, serve Kirkwaite to shut him up. And you continue talking, they serve you again. In fact, I'm gagged in a matter because this is an end run around freedom of speech. But I don't want to talk about that too much because I know a lot of people now are coming together over this, and we're going to challenge that too. There are so many things broken in this country that need fixing, that need challenging, that need right-sizing. And anyway, so talk led to more talk, and then we decided, why not form a political party? Why not form a political party and offer these suggestions, offer a solution? That there was no other organization in the country of any kind that had this level of policy direction that could change the country. And we knew. And that nobody was informing the population or trying to educate the population. So we thought, you know what, we could do that. And because we wanted to empower the population, we would be the Empowerment Party. So we called ourselves the People's Empowerment Party, the PEP. And that is what we called ourselves until we found out that there was an actual party in Trinidad and Tobago. When we went to EBC, Elections and Boundaries Commission, to register the party, we found out that Deborah Moore-Miggins in Tobago actually had a party. It never fought an election in Trinidad, but it fought an election in Tobago, and it was called the People's Empowerment Party, which was really ironic because I never heard about it before. So I talked to Deborah, and she said she had no problem with us using it, but we met again and we decided, you know what? We don't have to be the People's Empowerment Party. We can be the Progressive Empowerment Party because all of our ideas are progressive and they share that common ground. So that's how the Progressive Empowerment Party was born, June 18th this year. We had our launch, and the rest, they say, is history. But the only reason for creating a political party is to give people an alternative. You can't just come and say PNM bad, UNC bad. And when election time comes, that's the only choices people have. The Congress of the People, what it said its purpose was, and what it did when it was given a chance of power, made a lie. So we couldn't work with the COP. The ILP was a vehicle for Jack to dislodge Kamala. That's all the ILP was. We couldn't work with that. These other people, MSG, again, MSG is a political party name only. Election after election. They do nothing. They don't contest no election. They're just there. They call themselves a political party. But a political party has one job: to contest election, to represent the people. That's the only purpose for a political party. So anyway, we had to do our own thing and create an alternative, and we launched it on June 18th of this year, 2017. And all along the way, we've been growing the party. We've been bringing people on board. Anybody. We invite everybody. Come on board. Come on board. This is your party, and it is still like that. Come on board. But people will come and people will go. And that will happen. But there is no way to know people's motives when you meet them. There's no way to know who you're dealing with when you meet people. So the most that you could do is give people 100% and hope that they live up to that. That's the most you could do. Give people 100% and hope that they live up to that. The purpose now of the Progressive Empowerment Party is twofold. So I took no title for me. In the immediate beginning, I called myself the interim political leader, but I didn't like that because I never was in this for title or job or post in the first place. So I didn't like that. So as soon as it was possible, I dropped that title. And I didn't want a title. I was still going to be just Phillip Alexander. And I was going to let the PEP build itself. Because I was not sure that at any point that I was going to make myself available for me to step into the position of political leader or to challenge for the job of Prime Minister. And people still don't understand why that's my position. And I tell you, I don't like politics like this. I made up my mind a long time ago that I will be honest with everybody that I talk to, whether they like it or not. It's cost me a lot of friends in a country where lying is what you do. All of the people that you see networked, it's mutual lying societies. And this is what they do. But I can't do that. And it will always rob me of being able to network the way a political party networks, because people need to hear certain lies, and they need to tell you certain lies. And at some point, you've told so many lies that you've forgotten what did you set out to do? What was the original goal? The original goal of the party is to empower, inform, educate the population first. The second goal of the party is to build an alternative. So we had to get a team of team leaders and give them responsibilities. Build this, work on this. And I had an idea as to how a political party is built. So started to, of all the people who got on board, because people came on board and as they expressed interest in serving, found places for them to get involved, because it's like a big jigsaw puzzle, and everybody takes a piece and they take responsibility for that, and that's why it's grown. It's grown like this because people bought into the vision and they brought their own energy and all of their people, and they're still dealing with Phillip Alexander. Now, Phillip Alexander is not the easiest person in the world to deal with, and I will say that without hesitation. I know me. I am not one of those people that you see partying every night. I am not one of those people that I kind of am a loner, a little bit. It's why I never could get into parliamentary politics and all the things in the PNM. Before I went live tonight, Fitzgerald Hines called me. Fitzgerald Hines called me to ask me a question, and I'll get into the purpose of that question. But Fitzgerald Hines, like a lot of other politicians, are people that I know a long time, and we could talk normal, but I can't do what they do. And Wayne Dyer's daughter is my friend on Facebook. Wayne Dyer, he was an author and a public speaker, brilliant guy. And I remember him said once, when you rationalize, you tell yourself rational lies. And I never wanted to be that guy. And I'm not good. And I'm not good with just now, I need to deal with something. Yeah. I was never good at those kind of things. But anyway, today, the ultimate racist party, the PNM, one of their rabid sycophants, a fellow by the name of Christian Hume, put out a post about me and black people and saying I don't like black people and I say this about black people. And I'll come to address this tonight. I'll be putting out a release after for social media, but I'll be asking my lawyer to sue this son of a bitch. Now, I have resisted suing a lot. Andy Suku Kion was just blocked. Don't even take him on. I am going to sue Christian Hume, and I'll tell you why. Christian Hume is a fella, he wouldn't spend 5 cents to see an ants dance. That is not him. That is not his thing. And I don't have to tell Trinidad and Tobago, and people tell me, why don't you say what you do? Because I'm a social activist before I'm a politician. And people have no idea for decades what we've done. And if you know that you're in any kind of activism in this country and you're helping the downtrodden, 99% of the people you're going to deal with are black. Because black people in this country have been done a severe injustice by the PNM. They've been fooled into believing that the PNM is their Mandela, that the PNM is their Martin Luther King, that the PNM care. Every election, just give them that bullshit. We care about you. We care about you. You have no water, you have no roads, you have no lights, you have no job, you have no house, you have no car. You have nothing. You have nothing going for you. Handout and scraps. And leaving a large, like this little Lavantil girl. And instead of Christian Hume advocating for this little Lavantil girl who just get raped by 5 Lavantil boys, they lost. She lost, the community lost, and the people who have the opportunity to help doing nothing. And instead want to attack me. And I'll tell you why they want to attack me. Because they know. I remember Prakash Ramadhan, the COP, asked me, if you were given a ministry, what ministry would you want? I said, give me a ministry called Morpha, Beatam, Lavantel, and Sealots. Somebody had to fix that. That was 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Because I know, and you know, and anybody with common sense knows, that crime cannot happen unless you have poor people. Because it's poor people that commit shoot them up crime. It's poor people that commit move the cocaine out of the pirogue, put it in the juice can crime. The white collar crime that taking place in Sinclair Fairways, Westmoreland, Valsayn and Bel Air, that's a different kind of crime. But you can't have violent crime. The crime that Faris just tried to legislate against with his totalitarian, draconian dictatorship anti-gang bill. You can't have that kind of crime without poverty. PNM has left black people in this country as slaves. The vast majority of black people in this country live lives of desperation. The vast majority. Most of them, 2 payments away. The ones who look like they have it going on, most of them 2 payments away. When I was in school, holiday time, my friend George Gonzalez, DJ George Gonzalez, you all know him from the radio 95.1. His father was also George Gonzalez, and George Gonzalez was a bailiff. And during holiday time, I would get work with George Gonzalez for pocket money. And George would go, and his job is to repossess things. And the majority of people in this country that lost things to banks and finance house, black people. Because they're always 2 payments away from losing everything. They've never been given a proper base line. You see, people has cussed this jackass, Satmaraj, because he is deplorable at the best of times. But Satmaraj had a vision for the people that he was leading. And Satmaraj made sure that East Indian people understood 2 things, education and property. And now, the lowest rung on the ladder used to be East Indian people. Used to call them rum drinking coolie. Remember that? This is the Trinidad I grew up in, and I know. In school, it's talking about coconut oil, all kind of stupidness. Now, it's just under Syrians. In Trinidad. Syrians, Indians, Chinese. The bottom rung still, black people. And the PNM has had social and economic control of this country for the longest time of its history. That's what they've done. And they know that the UNC, because of the tribal nature, the UNC became a response to the PNM. And that if UNC started to do things in black communities, UNC voters would revolt and throw the party down. Because UNC supporters quick to throw down the party. The only reason UNC not in office today is UNC people throw their own party down. Everything that you ever hear in the news about Chandra Sharma and Glenn Ramadas Singh and Jerry Hadid and all these fellas who name call in the news, they all, listen, they all put that out on each other. I'm telling you. And that's the only reason. But the UNC couldn't do anything for black communities. So the black communities stuck. So nothing new must come. According to the way votes go in this country, everything that has ever been done by the HDC is not about housing. Look at where HDC builds houses and how they identify where the houses building and who going to live in those houses. It's all about something called voter padding. It's like if you're going to run against the PNM in Diego Martin Central. You see, Diego Martin Central is a whole lot of people there. And you could capture everybody else. But if you don't get Powder Magazine, You lost. There are about 10,000 people in Powder magazine alone. And this is what they do. They create a voter bank. This is not new. Morgan Job telling Trinidad this since the 80s. Dr. Morgan Job has been trying to open the eyes and the minds of black people in this country. And I want to tell you something. The Reasonably Progressive Empowerment Party chose as a slogan, one people under one flag, is to let the Indian people who are not racist know, and the black people or the African people or whatever you're calling yourselves now, and whatever is politically correct, know that it is safe. This is a safe space, that somebody is coming to try to represent you. And this was the plan, and this is why the PEP has as its slogan, one people under one flag. Just give me 1 second. True talk going forward. I am a human being just like you. Every time something goes wrong in our party with people that we have in the party, I feel it personally. We lost our deputy political leader. Well, we really don't have a political structure, but we needed to give her a title. We lost her this month gone here. And it caused a schism inside the party. And it hurt me like it hurt everybody else. And everybody deals with things differently. That I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago. This politics of politics, we building a party, and while we building the party, ex-PNM ministers reaching out to members of ex-UNC ministers, reaching out to members of our party, trying to poach them. So we working, building, getting our party going, and getting undermined from, I mean, it is the most disgusting thing that you could see. What the PNM is doing today is using a tactic to frighten black people against me. Because black people must think that Phillip Alexander don't like all you, or based on nothing but what some jackass named Christian Hume said. I will deal with that. But I have to address that tonight. Because when you go to the courts and you watch the people in custody, the vast majority are black people. Dead by murder, the vast majority are black people. Wanted in connection with committing murder, black people. Least amount of homes owned, least amount of property, lowest on the job line. And this is as a direct result, and I'm telling you this, to keep black people subjugated and dependent on the PNM. Patrick Manning created an alphabet. OJT, YTEP, HYPE, URP, I mean, CPEP, anything that you could do and tell them, you come in and you get 2 blues and you get 3 blues, cigarette money. Like, not one person in the PNM, not one of them, has ever stood up and defended black people in this country. And that is a real situation that needs to be addressed. They've never gone into these communities with a view to rebuild them. This country went through a boom under Patrick Manning. Just that boom could have bought the rest of the Caribbean. Just that boom. Understand the kind of money that we're talking about. Just that boom in that little space of time under Patrick Manning, they stole billions of dollars, you know. I mean, it's disgusting what took place. We could have bought Florida. We could have moved everybody to Florida with just that money. And instead of saying, right, we flush with cash, let's bring everybody up to our level, because everybody talks about this. Once you bring everybody in this country to a base level, once you bring everybody to that same base level, And nobody needs to suffer. My friend Lima, her husband Johnny, tagged me in a message last night. 6 hours. They waiting in Mount Hope. His 4-year-old daughter has a broken bone in her arm. And they are waiting there 6 hours in Mount Hope. This is where the children go, Mount Hope. 6 hours. Waiting on a doctor. I put that up on Facebook. It gets real mileage. A couple doctors want to come and attack me and say, this can't be the case. The father and the mother come and explain exactly what's going on. I have a very good friend. He's a senior doctor in Mount Hope. And he said, let me tell you something here. If you see a doctor or a practitioner and they tell you that you will have to get surgery and you will need to wait 6 hours to empty your stomach because you can't have anesthetic on a full stomach, I understand that. He said to me, but to come to a hospital and wait 5.5 hours and still ain't get to see nobody is absolute madness. Understand that we spend on the average person, we spend $10,000 a year because half the population don't go near public health, you know. Half the population use private healthcare because I remember needing an x-ray on a weekend, drive in to General Hospital, and just the way the security guards behave, I left. So I'll deal with that Monday. Just the way the security guards behave, the entire place, or everything that passed, and that's $10,000 average. If you talk to any actuarian, any statistician, and they will tell you that the average person, if you take blue chip medical on everybody in the country, it can't cost more than $3,000 a person. That's $3 billion. We spend $5 billion. If you put blue chip insurance on everybody in the country and encourage plenty more West Shores and Sinclairs to open all through the country, just that. And those who can, those who making more than $100,000 a year, contribute towards your healthcare because it's $2,500 a year. Blue chip medical, dental, optician, ophthalmology, everything. It can't cost more than $3,000 a person. That's the average. Because you're buying in bulk. And everybody would have proper healthcare. We're spending $5 billion on the madness. And my friend tonight was explaining to me that certain hospitals are for certain things. And that these hospitals weren't set up for this. So they're literally trying to surf and turf the people. Fitzgerald Hines called me to ask me if I get a present for Christmas because I'm being naughty. Now Fitzgerald Hines would read the nonsense that this guy put out and he would laugh at it because to them this is politics. Because the PNM have one trick in their bag. One trick only. Damage the messenger. Kill the message. Damage the messenger. So the first rollout was character assassination on Phillip Alexander. I have dealt with the worst things said about me in the last 10 months than I have had in my entire life. I mean, deep, disturbing, dark, nasty things said about me. I have 2 lawsuits going on right now to silence me on other issues. And I have had 3 credible death threats against me. All of that in 10 months. And still, the message not dying and the party growing and making inroads. Every time they do a poll on social media, people say, well, that's just social media. Yeah, but NACTA polls is just NACTA, and that's just on the telephone. NACTA calling 500 people on the telephone. When you do a social media poll, you're getting 5,000 people, and it's still a snapshot of society. Worse. They're doing these polls because the Progressive Empowerment Party has only done 1 poll. And the poll we did was a joke. We said, when the PEP wins, who you want in opposition? That was our poll. And it was a joke. But they've been polling on all of their pages, PNM and UNC. And we've been winning all the polls. We're winning a poll right now. And it is panicking them. Because they are seeing this happening right before their eyes. They need to destroy Phillip Alexander and the PEP. That's what they need to do. They need to stop this message. More importantly, even if the message get out, they need to make sure that the people don't have a choice. Come election time, must still only be PNM and UNC. A senator, an independent senator, stood up in the Senate this week and read a PEP policy in the Senate. He said, why aren't we doing this? The Progressive Empowerment Party advocates for regulating the banks and the financial sector, which will protect the people against the rapacious nature of banking. Why is that not being done? We got somebody in the Senate to ask a question of a PEP policy. PNM and UNC are rolling out stuff now that if you check their manifestos for the last 30 years, they never touch these issues. But as my friend Delwood Braffett said today, we share our ideas. And we tell you, if you're going to steal them and put them into action, we don't mind. Don't just steal them and talk about them. If you're going to thief a PEP idea, put it in place. Build the maritime security wall. Shut down the borders. Move the port to Point Lisa. Spend that money. That is money that you need to spend. Unstuff all the containers. And the drugs, the guns, and the human trafficking. Right-size the police service. Go and hire people from Scotland Yard or from Canada or America. Bring FBI. Put FBI on contract in Trinidad. You see, Trinidad has 1/10 the population of New York City. We could hire New York police who have 65,000 police officers. We have 5,000. You could go to the Internal Affairs Division in New York City and hire a team and bring them here and give them a mission. Pay them well. Find every rogue and corrupt criminal police officer and so that we could prosecute them. Find everyone. Trinidad so small, 6 months, every man under arrest. That's how small this country is. And if the PNM cared to fix crime, they'd fix the police service. If the PNM cared to fix crime, they'd fix the courts. We have cases going on in the courts 20, 30, 40 years. We have a backlog in the courts that would take 400 years to clear. We are playing the fool with everything that matters and leaving people suffering. There are people in our jail tonight. Christian Hume want to tell me that I don't like black people. But there are people in our jail tonight, 90% of them black, who cannot afford a lawyer, who cannot afford bail, who are on a charge that if they had pled guilty the moment they were arrested or within that first year, they would have served the maximum time and been released already. But they are caught in limbo where their cases slowly moving through the system. They are in jail longer. They are in jail longer than they could have been sentenced to if they had pled guilty. Anton Pope said no local police officers will cooperate with foreign police services. Friend, I don't think you understand how this works, you know. I don't think you understand how a charge for interfering with an investigation would look on a police officer's record, how it will damage their promotion and their chances at a higher salary and a proper pension. Understand me when I tell you something, Anton Pope. We don't come at this pelting headlines, you know. We research the shit out of shit, you know. When we come and tell you that we could undo and redo the Trinidad and Tobago police service, the functionality, ask me in detail. I will talk to you for 6 hours straight. I will show you how we will bring law enforcement to work in this country without having to kick down doors and eviscerate human rights. We know this thing. We've been doing this for decades. We've been researching and identifying all of the solutions. Again, I want you all to understand, Trinidad wouldn't qualify as a county in the United Kingdom. This country is a dot. This country is a borough. This country is why there is a local government in Great Britain. That's what tiny little places like this. We have a local government and 16 corporations. There is nothing in this country that needs fixing that cannot fix. Kurt and Anton Pope is not a troll. He just doesn't know how to ask the questions that he wants to ask. But and we need to look at this. I want to tell you something. 6 months into the Progressive Empowerment Party, we had to lose people and start over. This is not an easy road. This is not an easy thing. People look around and they realize when they say to Phillip Alexander, stay safe, please keep safe, it's because they know how easy it is in this mad-ass country for people to damage you. And people have to, when they get into politics and it really dawn on them what we're going up against. Let me tell you something. If we win government, we have to bring in foreign security to secure the government. There must never be another 1990. If you pick up arms against the state, we will put you down. And I want to tell you, the same bullshit that led to there being a 1990, because we will never know what really went on. But if this and me get into government, stop that gravy train, the contractocracy want me dead, the drug barons want me dead, the corrupt politicians and the business class that benefit from them gonna want me dead. Listen now, this country is, there is a whole level of gang corruption inside the police service. This is a country where you scratch and sniff anything, you find crime. And I want to say this. Being able to go by my parents tonight and have dinner and train in the gym till I want to done felt normal. I haven't had that life for a long time. I get Sundays. That's all I get. I have one day, Sunday, if I'm lucky. Because things happen on a Sunday too. Because the whole of a Saturday is PEP. From 10 in the morning. The whole Saturday is Progressive Empowerment Party. I get one day, Sunday. And that whole day is WhatsApps and messages and conversations and certain meetings for the next week. I have been doing this non-stop, constant for the past 11 months. More. For the length of time it took to set it up. Every single day. The only thing that keeps me still doing this is the people in the party. And the people in the country. I look and see that the DPP, the President, and the Chief Justice, those three have the power under the Constitution to go into the jail and bring all of those people out who should have already been there longer than they should have been. And I'm not talking murder, I'm not talking rape, I'm not talking any of those kind of crimes. Not blood crimes. But all the other crimes. Armed robbery, even if, whatever it was, if you are in jail waiting on a case longer than you should be, that is a human rights violation. That is an atrocity. That needs to be vacated. We need to go in the jail and let go all of those people. And I tell you something, you see mercy? Mercy is a hell of a thing with a human being, you know. You save somebody from misery, there is a 90% chance psychologically they will never commit a crime again. But it should be the job of the state to ensure that all of those people coming out get into a retraining program, put on a stipend so that they can live, because people must eat. And they're going to have needs. So we as a society, it is worth our while to retrain and mine until they get into life and go their way. Give them hope, give them opportunity, set them up. We've never had a government that cared enough about people. You know many people get jail and sentences and records against their name for little joint that should have never been a crime. There are big people in this country in big position that never get the same treatment, and that is wrong. We need to decriminalize marijuana for personal use in this country, and I know the alcohol importers don't want to hear that. Because when you decriminalize marijuana for personal use, alcohol sales will drop. That's the truth. You're arresting and locking up people for something that shouldn't be a crime. And that's the real crime. And those are things that need to be dealt with. Now, I don't drink really, and I don't smoke weed at all because I can't. My brain too sensitive for them kind of things. I can't take any kind of drugs. Believe it or not. We talk about that another time. And you know, I said this was going to be a short video. But every single day, everybody that I respect, I ask the same question. Am I wasting time? Am I wasting my life? Am I on a fool's errand doing this? But you don't understand. I don't work for nobody, you know. I could get up at the crack of noon every day. I could do what I want. I could go movies at lunchtime. I don't answer to anybody. I live nice. I live well. I eat in 2 restaurants a day. At least. And I want you to understand that I don't need this. And I didn't come to do this looking for a job. And when they tell you that this is people looking for a way to get into the treasury, to get treasury money, trust me. The easiest way to get into the treasury, to get treasury money, is via the PNM and the UNC. And they don't stop reaching out there. They don't stop reaching out because that's their nature. That's their nature. I look at people who lose their job because they're associated with a party that's not in government. I have asked questions that they don't want to ask. Why the bank's not regulated? The Banking Association of Trinidad and Tobago are dismayed that I have people asking that question. Regulation. They didn't even know what regulation was. People didn't know. You could do that. You could control how the bank's beating up people. Yes, you can. I asked, how much are we selling our pitch from the pitch lake for? How much pitch are we selling? And who's getting that money? Before I asked that, nobody ever asked that. Now there's a question. And it's all over the place. At some point, that's going to blow up. At some point, that's going to blow up. I asked. There were no Stuart Young busy with his divorce. The whole of PNM, all of them marriages collapsing. Because they get into government, they get some blue light, so they get access to some girls. And all of them, Daryl Smith, he just get divorced or separated. Wife move out. All of them. And I know Stuart Young busy with his divorce, and he too busy with his divorce to answer me. But I'm asking you again, Stuart Young, because I put into the public space that Maxi Coffee is brain dead. People ask me why I have the right to say that. I have a right as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago to ask a question. This man is being paid with state funds. He's an elected official. He's a member of parliament. You have a right to answer me. Is Maxi Coffee brain dead? Worse, are we spending $12,000 a day because nowhere in the contract for a member of parliament or a minister does it allow for the state to cover his foreign medical bills? And you'll have to answer those questions. That one became a big issue. Stuart Young came and lied to the nation. He said Maxi Coffee would be back in Trinidad in December. What is the date today? I want to get a date. 13th of December. When is he coming back? I was the one who told you about Superfast Galatia and that they were about to stunt. I even told Trinidadians about land being bought in Toko and Manzanilla before the announcement that they was going to build that Manzanilla highway. And all of that done, raised in the public space, and nothing changed. Nothing changes. Because all they have to do is lie to you. In the newspaper, Faris Al-Rawi, as the Attorney General, posted ads that blame the opposition for not supporting the anti-crime bill. But that is not governance, that is politicking. And if the Attorney General's office paid for that, he needs to be referred to the Integrity Commission, because you can't use public funds to politic. Those issues need to be raised in the public space too. But I don't even have the time to raise those issues. I would like to go after Faris Al-Rawi for that ad in the papers. Because at some point we're going to catch him, you know. He's slippery. He's Trinidad's Teflon Don. He's slippery. It's like trying to nail jello to a wall. Faris, he's slippery like that. But you have to continue to address all of these things that go on in this country. Anyway, I am taking a break until after Christmas. I said so. I think I am going to Canada. I'm not sure. And I guess I'll share that. I try not to share too much politics on my wall, even though a lot of things going on. And people come to me to blow their stuff up, because when their stuff get blown up, action gets taken. Like when people get stuck in the hospital maze. But I am taking a break until after Christmas. I do not know what will be going on. Politics seems to run into a dead zone during Carnival. So a lot of development work has to be done. But the politics of the politics, there need to be some changes. And I need people to understand, we're not going to fix this country operating like the other parties. And we're not going to get anywhere politicking for politicking's sake. And I want very much to fix Trinidad and Tobago. Very much. But I don't want to waste any more time. I need the people of Trinidad and Tobago to mature to the point where they could stand up Anton Pope. I will look at this and look into it and see who banned you from the page, and I will unban you. We are mature. Listen, I see somebody else circulating something that says, I have resigned from politics. That's not true. I'm not resigning from politics. What we do now, this is we're at a critical juncture. The PEP has gotten to a point now where we are an accepted party. There are three parties in the conversation: PNM, UNC, PEP. You can't ignore us. Ignore us to your peril. You can't ignore us. But the PEP has to level up, and this is where it gets tricky. Because level up for the PNM and the UNC is appeal to your tribal grassroots. Dig down deep. We don't have that. Level up means take the message on the road. We need to get our message into as many homes as possible. The only way we're doing that is live broadcasts on television, Monday or Tuesday night, once a month. Go to different areas and have public meetings. Now, we did about 12 public meetings this year. Besides everything else we did, we went all over Trinidad and Tobago. We had protests. The party busy. But to do those live broadcasts costs money. If all this talk, you're talking back at me, all that talk, one live broadcast is between $35,000 and $50,000. But one live broadcast, people will watch it. It will have massive ratings. People like to hear it. And if it's on a television station, people are going to tune in. Tomorrow at 11, I'm on 104.7 as normal. The highest ratings that station gets is when I go. People like that show. Oh, Lord, we want it bigger. We're working on that. All those things cost money. All those things cost money. So all of you talking back at me, telling me that this is a mission and you have to do it and all that, fine. But we reach to a plateau. I am asking the people who have companies that have advertising budgets. I'm not even asking you for money. But you have advertising budgets. Give us advertising time on the station. Help us get the show on the media road. It costs money. And we need that help to take us to the next level. You want to win an election? You want to fix Trinidad and Tobago? I need this help. And I need you to message me and tell me, yes, we want to help. Because straight out of Carnival, we need to have about 10 public meetings and take that information right into people's homes. Because by then, who don't know PEP, we are about 10,000 billboards all over the nation right now. You're seeing the ads, we're running ads on the digital screens. We're working hard with what we have. And to the owners of those, anyway, I can't talk about that too much. But we're working hard with what we have. But we need your help. We need your assistance. And it doesn't have to be money. But we need money to pay for advertising. So we need advertising, and you could pay it directly. Janice Leamon Creaky is our PRO. Felicia Holder is our chairman. The two of them are responsible for dealing with whichever media house we're dealing with at the time, be it CNC3, TV6, or whoever. Because we need to plan our public meetings, and we need to be able to book and pay for that and promote that we will be in Karapichaima on this date, and it will be broadcast at 8 p.m. We need your help. We need your assistance. If you really believe in the things that you're saying, then you have to help us too. You have to help us be able to do this. So that's where we are. For the party to go where you want it to go, we need to level up. Yeah? All of those who are interested in coming to assist build this, I'm telling you now, you need brains, balls, and backbone. You need all three. This is a different type of politics. What we have in our sights is every corrupt criminal organization in this country. And we will bring all of them to their knees. Get us into government, and I promise you, the Progressive Empowerment Party needs to level up. We're going as we're going. We're working with what we have. But if you want us to get where we need to go, we need your help. And I want to tell you, Anil Maraj in Canada, Ali G in New York, Anil and them just did a tour of some casino, raised money for us. I know Abigail and John Paul in Florida trying to put something together in Carla G. Ali G right now is running a raffle in New York City. The raffle on my wall, or reach out to Ali G and buy a couple tickets. All of those things. I mean, we're doing any little thing to raise some funds. But if you see, we've put everything on the line. This is a full year. January 17th, we're having our first anniversary. Come to that. And that'll be free. Look how many things we do for free. The Job Seekers Program, the Elders Council, the Animal Rights. We're working on Animal Bill of Rights right now. We do everything and serve and give up ourselves. You've seen us do this. You've seen the members give up themselves, the graphic artists that put, our communication team second to none. We have everybody else off balance with our communication. Those people work very, very hard. And they do it for free. It is time now for all of you who say that this is what you want to stand with us. We need your help. Yeah? Thanks a lot. I can't promise when next I'm doing a video. I'm sure it'll be after Christmas. But if something comes up between now and then, we will talk. Yeah? And I hope Trinidad and Tobago, I swear, I hope you have a safe Christmas. Let me tell you, There are some things you need to know. There are some things you need to know. This is not a time to get drunk. It's not time to be drunk. This is not a time to be walking to your car or parking up your car and walking in your house 4 o'clock in the morning drunk. You don't know what going on, what waiting for you, what marking you, what looking for you. Today, windsurf drive. Some man went home and then a man waiting for him, tie him up, thief everything. You don't know. The wolf, right now, we've been warning. We've been warning. The only thing I can tell you now, the wolf, busy. They want Christmas money and they want carnival money. And they're looking for targets of opportunity. Do not make yourself a target of opportunity. If you're going out to party, make sure you're moving with other people. Make sure that you know your comings and your goings. In fact, all of your movements, stagger them. Don't do the same thing all the time. Don't let it be easy for people to track you. Do not post on Facebook where you are. Disable locations. They have crooks that will follow you on Facebook. Wait for you to say that you're in this bar or you're in that restaurant. They know your house empty. Disable that on Facebook. Stop wearing jewelry. Stop it. Stop wearing jewelry that will attract people to come and rob you. Stop taking lots of cash where you go. You're just encouraging people to rob you. Lock your doors and turn up all your windows. When you're coming to a traffic light at night, don't go right up on the traffic light and stop. Stay about 20 feet back. Make sure that you have escape routes in every direction, including straight through the traffic light. Be very clear. Very, very clear. Anybody trying to run you off the road at the back of your car, stand up on your brakes. Mash up their radiator. You don't need the back of your car. They need the front of theirs. You need to be very, 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 very situational aware right now. Most importantly, network the neighborhood. Everybody in the neighborhood. Link up. Exchange numbers. Make sure that you can contact people in case of emergency. Sleep. Those of you who have cars that have alarms, the little black thing, most of them have a panic on it. Sleep with that key close to you. In case of an emergency, you could trip your car alarm, which will raise attention. Bandits and criminals don't like that kind of thing. Double check, triple check, make sure you're secure, and hope for the best. Until we speak again, have a safe and enjoyable Christmas. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.